Welcome to this ceremony of meeting with the retreat, which will be performed by the Regimental Band and a guard from Bravo Company of the 7th Wellington, City of Wellington Zone and Hawke's Bay Battalion Group. This will be the band's last performance as part of the New Zealand Defence Force. My name is Second Lieutenant Paula Turner. This afternoon the bandmaster is Lance Corporal Rick Henderson. On parade this afternoon, the band is under the command of the Drum Major, Warrant Officer Class 1, John Hinton. Bravo Company Guard Sergeant is Sergeant Dale. The lone piper is Piper Tad Welts from Pipes and Drums, 5th Battalion, Wellington West Coast and Taranaki Battalion Group. They appear here this afternoon by kind permission of both battalions' commanding officers, Lieutenant Colonel Jeremy Hawke and Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Rutledge. The ceremony of beating the retreat has evolved over hundreds of years. The earliest recorded facts are from 1557, where it is stated that beating the retreat on the battlefield conveyed the order to retire to the rear. From this early beginning, the call evolved into a ceremony which came to signify the end of a soldier's working day. When a guard is on parade, as it is this afternoon, the significance of the band's musical troop is to place the unarmed band between the guard and the enemy. It is believed this was a deliberate manoeuvre to taunt the enemy and convey the impression that morale had not been affected by the day's fighting. The present-day ceremony of beating retreat embraces all the past ceremonies and is normally performed in military camps in front of the New Zealand ensign. This custom evolved from the lowering of battle flags in sunset. These flags or colours are the rallying points for the soldiers during the daytime. Of significant note, the forefathers of 7th Battalion, Wellington Regiment, were given standing orders which were instituted in 1932, stating the ceremony of retreat is to be carried out at the War Memorial Cenotaph at Lambton Quay on each ANZAC Day. This was carried out every year, excluding the Second World War period until the mid-1990s, where it was moved to the Queen's Wharf, then Civic Centre, until orders were given to cease in 2007. This afternoon's ceremony will commence with the kāinga from Te Papa and a reply from the buglers. The band will march on, trooping the drums, and then trooping the band. At the completion of the musical troop, the guard will then march on. They will then be inspected by the guard commander. This afternoon, this will be carried out by Ian Lees-Galloway, the Labour Defence spokesperson and MP for Palmerston North. He will be escorted by Captain Paul Prowse, Officer Commanding Bravo Company. As part of the inspection, the Guard Commander is required to look every soldier straight in the eyes. This practice evolved to ensure that every member of the Guard was not intoxicated and was able to perform his or her duties. I can assure you tonight that tonight's Guard is of sober habits. This afternoon, there are also 3 representatives who will be standing in place their deceased veteran relatives. Regan Winera will be representing his uncle, Regimental Number 39569, Private Hua Parai, RNZIR, served in Malaya between 1960 and 1964. Jensen Parata will be representing his dad, Regimental Number 709442, Te Kakaka Kura Jensen Parata, RNZAFC, served in Korea between 1954 and 1957. Caleb Ware will be representing his uncle, Regimental Number 641337, Warrant Officer Class 1, Eddie Maurice, who served in Vietnam. Ladies and gentlemen, band will now troop the drums. officer will now inspect the guard and the band.
Guard! General! Salute! Prisoners! Up! Guard! Shoulder! Up!
At the completion of the guard inspection, the ceremonial part of this retreat will commence with the playing of the evening hymn, "The Day Thou Gavest." During this, the guard will fire 3 volleys, signifying the departing spirit of the fallen soldier. Then follows the sunset hymn, with the trumpets sounding the bugle call superimposed over the hymn.
Oh yes, well she's fine. Aren't you, Rosebud? You're just covering your head.
I don't know if you can even put those dolls through the machine.
Yes, you can, coming. Watch out, or you'll be inspected. Maybe within here.
Right here at home.
Guard! Shoulder! Up! Guard! Volleys! Words! Right, passengers! Guard!
Yep. Hold 3 years. No, not yet. Right, not yet.
Afterwards.
Okay, here we go, Gemma.
Because
And the other one. There's 3 of them.
James, when the music stops.
Go, Tina. Here we go. Dead, dead.
Guard! Shoulder! Up!
That's it.
At this point, the guard will present arms and a New Zealand ensign will be lowered. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding as a mark of respect for the lowering of the New Zealand ensign. followed by the lament played by the lone piper.
Sorry about it, might be one
The guard marches past your front. They will break into a slow march. Now is the hour to signify their last military parade, then return playing 7th Battalion's Regimental March, Wellington, to signify the forming of the band's own association. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Good! Forward! To the right! And forward! Right! Turn! Ready! Get right! Right! Ready! Good! By the left! Cut!
The end of the
Disbanded.